almost forgot what we were doing then.
We're doing a podcast, Dan. It's like conspiracies, urban legends, just weird shit. Like, I don't even know what the topic is this week because, you know, that's what you do. I just shave my day it.
You do what now? Shave what?
Shane my day it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Calm down.
Yeah, on that bombshell, right.
Pipe down and do the intro.
Hello and welcome all into the MO podcast. You're here as always with me, Consummation-san.
And me, Atreya.
And today I'm going to have to concentrate because...
Sorry.
Hot flush on now. Anyway, today we are going to be talking about the case of Dennis Martin.
Oh, I love this one.
So this is a missing case, really, but it does have some unusual circumstances.
Very unusual. I know the basics, so enlighten me.
Yeah, I mean, it is just the basics, really. A lot of it is just guesswork afterwards, but the basics are that Dennis Martin was a 6-year-old from Knoxville, and he went missing from the Great Smoky Mountain National Park. Now, this was on Father's Day weekend, and the Martin men kind of had this tradition of that during Father's Day weekend, they'd all go out, the grandpa, the father, and Dennis and his brother. They'd go out and they'd walk, go hiking, they'd go camping, and they'd just spend this long weekend, a guy's weekend kind of thing. So this kind of stretched back. I mean, it must stretch back a few years because obviously Dennis is 6 years, but it stretched back a bit. And the first day they did like 10 miles of hiking, and they camped out. There was nothing untoward happened. It was all fine and dandy. And then the second day, they did a couple of miles of hiking, and they were looking to bed down at a place called Spencefield, which is near the Appalachian Trail. Now, if you don't know about the Appalachian Trail, it's the trail in America that is 2,200 miles long, and it's hikeable along its whole route. You can do it in... A lot of people do this, and Bill Bryson actually did it, and he's got a book about it, and it's quite a good book, actually.
You can also do it virtually in Fallout 76, just putting it out there.
Oh, okay. No, I never knew that.
Don't run into Mothman and or Flatwoods Monster.
Okay, so as you can see, it goes through quite a lot of states there. It starts up near Canada, and it kind of goes all the way down to like Deliverance Land kind of thing, Tennessee and all that.
Deliverance Land.
Well, yeah, innit, where they start playing banjos when they're in the backwoods and all that kind of nonsense.
Making moonshine.
Yeah, amongst other things, and making people squeal like pigs, apparently.
Point Lookout, Fallout 3, awesome. Just saying.
Okay, just throwing that in there, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Hills Have Eyes kind of people, banjos,
yeah,
moonshine.
Indeed.
Yeah, mm-hmm.
Yeah, God, yeah. The fastest that it's been hiked is... I should have actually written this down because I'm doing this from memory now, but I think it's 46 days.
That doesn't seem fast to me. Seems like somebody ambling along, taking their fucking time.
Well, that's the thing. That's from start to finish. A lot of people obviously do it throughout a lifetime because it's that long.
How many miles are we talking?
2,200.
Oh, right, okay, fair enough.
So 46. I think it's 46. Maybe it's 76. It's no more than that. I know that. But that's like unassisted. So that's just carrying your own stuff on your back and, I don't know, maybe taking a bow and arrow or just a hunt while you go. So
do people take bows and arrows when they go hiking? Because I just see them take those sticks, that they use on plain flat roads that they don't need any help on whatsoever, and it's like, what are you doing? Go home.
And then in the other direction is a 5-year-old with like half-clothed Barbie coming the other way.
Yeah.
Like, yes. Yeah. Cheers, I've just done this. I'm 5.
Basically, yeah.
What's wrong with you?
Yeah, they've got like the backpack, they've got the sticks, they've got the massive big hiking boots, and they've got this like peppy little like school teacher on a school trip kind of, yeah, let's go, we're all happy campers. Go home.
Indeed, yeah. So it is quite a long way, and the Appalachian Mountains as well do have quite a little bit of history, if you want to say, or maybe folklore, really, about Hills of Eyes kind of people living there, and your brother's also your father.
Your dad, yeah.
He used to be your sister a long time ago, kind of thing. It's just they love to, like, stir the pot and keep it in the family there, apparently.
Nice.
But yeah, so this is the area that they were camping in. When the family got to Spence Fields, Dennis and his brother started playing with 2 other children who were camping nearby, and they kind of did this little game where they just went off and hid in the bushes, and I think it was under the guise of jumping out and scaring the adults kind of thing, but
little shits.
Yeah, but Dennis never came out from behind the bush. At about 4:30, Dennis hid behind a bush, and he was never seen again. Literally, like 5 minutes after all the other kids returned to camp, Dennis's father started to get a bit antsy, and he started to search for him. So he went over to the area where he was last seen. He couldn't find him. There was no sign of him. So he actually ran 2 miles down the trail back towards where they'd been trying to catch him, until he kind of realised he physically couldn't get any further, and then he returned back to camp. And they started searching, but they got nothing for a few hours, and then they sent Grandpa back to the ranger station to alert them that they got this missing child in the park. And he actually called in at the ranger station at 8:30 in the evening. So this massive search is then launched.
Why did they let their kid, like, just go play hide and, like, I'm not being funny, right? But there's like a little like foresty walk area near me, right, in Castle Eden, and it's literally, it's not very big at all, and like a family had to be rescued by, like the forest rescue people. I don't know who they are. It's literally, it's not that big, and they had to be rescued. If I was in the fucking one of the national forests, there's absolutely no way in hell I am letting my 5-year-old out of my sight. Not a hope in hell. If somebody can get lost in what is essentially like a 2-mile radius that's just basically concrete jungle around, if you walk in a straight line, you get to the A19. Would you really? Why would you leave your child, your 5-year-old child, to just like, oh yeah, let's go and play hide and seek in the national forest? I think that is like the stupidest idea anybody could ever come up with.
Yeah, I've got a lot of issues with this whole area where he went missing from, me personally, because it was in 1969 that this happened, so it was a bit kids will be kids kind of thing. They went out and played. I mean, I hate saying this kind of thing because it makes me sound so much like my goddamn parents. But when we were kids,
it was
we
a
used
different
to go
era.
out and play.
Yeah,
and I suppose that in the 60s and 70s there wasn't this much.
Weren't this the era though where lots of people went missing in the same kind of area?
So, but this is the thing as well. It's a national park. He's only 6 years old. It's all right saying, yeah, this is a tradition. We do this every year, kind of thing. But at 6 years old, how much camp sense, how much trail sense have you got?
Exactly. He's only little, you know.
That's it. And I think it's a little bit. The times as well for me is a little bit because he did say like 5 minutes after all the other kids return to camp. If you're letting your kid off the leash and run around kind of thing outside,
You got no concept of time.
Yeah, exactly, and it's not going to be 5 minutes. Oh, he's fine. He'll be over there. It's not 5 minutes, is it? It's be like 20 minutes. Whoa, he's not turned up yet. What's happening? Oh, right, then you kind of do. So the timing here is a little bit, and I was still a little bit like, it was 8:30 when he went missing at 4:30, and it was 4 hours later that he was reported missing. But that, taken into consideration, they had to hike back. There was no mobile phones. There was nothing. It would be only if the park ranger was doing a hike next to you and he walked through the camp that you were at, then you could. So they had to walk to the ranger station, which is fine and fair enough. But it was 8:30, and it was only 2 miles away because they passed the ranger station on the second day.
2 miles? Mate, I can't walk for shit, but I definitely can walk more than 2 miles in 4 hours.
Yeah. So
even uphill.
For me, the timings are a little bit off, and especially with it being so precise, 8:30, 4:30. It's like around 4 o'clock, especially when you're in the wild, because everything's just, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you just like the sun was there.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of understand it. This is a father who's lost his son, he's lost his child, he doesn't know where he is. So, yeah, maybe he is that hyper alert and everything. But with everything that's going on, you don't go, oh, hang on a minute, let me document it.
I don't know. I think if he was like in a state of panic or something, would you not fucking get to that ranger station within 4 hours if it was only 2 mile away? I'd be fucking there in 15 minutes, mate, if it was my kid. I wouldn't let a bag of crisps out of my sight for more than 5 minutes, let alone a kid.
Yeah, we know you're crazy, but yeah. But yeah, so it's, for me already, it's starting to, like, there's a little bit of, what's happening here, kind of, with it. And no disrespect, I'm not trying to pull it apart, I'm not trying to say this person's responsible, that person's responsible, or whatever. It's just a very odd case. Now, as well as the park rangers being involved, the FBI, National Guard and Green Berets also got involved. So this actually became the biggest search in national park history, and it lasted 2 weeks and involved over 1,400 people. Is it
normal for the FBI to get involved in a missing persons case that is like in a national park? Is that not weird?
The reason why the FBI became involved was because of there could have been an abduction involved with this. So I think at first it was just the park rangers, and then when they couldn't find anything, there was a National Guard, and maybe the Green Berets were just doing manoeuvres in the park, or there was a Green Beret base near, because I can't honestly think as to why you'd go, Green Berets. Do you know?
That's pretty cool, though.
No, it is, but they also had Boy Scouts searching as well. So it covers the whole gambit of skill sets here that we've got searching for him. I mean, there's a lot of things as well about the search, which is the search was kind of bad, to be honest with you, because the area had been saturated in heavy rain, and there were so many people coming and going through the area that they could have been walking over a 6-year-old's footprints and not noticing it. And even though Dennis was wearing a red coat, I mean, they may not have noticed it.
I mean, how it's a bright red coat. It stands out amongst a lot of green.
It does, but this is the reason for why I'm gonna say, because the search was bad. Okay, so there's bad search and it's dangerous terrain. The place where he went missing was full of ravines and steep slopes. So he's a 6-year-old boy. He's really excited. He's going to play a trick on his dad, his granddad, whatever. He's going to jump out. He's found a couple of new friends. You know, they're joining in on the trick as well. So he's hyped up. He's very hyped up. He goes away from the campsite. So the campsite is probably safe. It's where they've decided to camp. So he goes away from that, which this area, it has ravines, it has steep slopes. I mean, you know, if he's excited and he's running blindly through the bushes, he can't see over the bushes. He's you know what I mean? So
yeah,
he may just take that one step too far and go down the side.
True.
There's also in the area there were snakes, bears, and feral pigs. And just a few weeks before he went missing,
feral pig.
Yeah, I mean, other people have noted that, so I thought it was important enough to note. I mean, a pig can eat a human body in like 5 minutes, apparently, or whatever it is. A herd of pigs.
Yeah, but would they kill somebody? They would just eat the corpse, right?
I think when it means feral pigs, I think it means like hogs. You know, with a snouts, but I don't
like a boar.
Really think. Yeah,
okay.
But I don't really think they'd defend the place. They'd defend their young, but then after killing the thing, I don't think they'd chow down on it.
Well, yeah, but even if they did eat a whole person, I mean, they're not going to eat like wellies and a raincoat as well, are they? There's going to be some remnants of bright red coat left.
Maybe they drag it back into the bushes, into the underbrush. There was quite a lot of that around.
They're not H.H. Holmes, aren't they? They're fucking feral pigs. They're not trying to cover the evidence. They don't care. It's not how to get away with murder. It's just how to eat something that's free.
Could just snag on the tusk and then as they're running off, go into the bush. I don't know their lives.
But then you don't eat their cereal. But then
exactly.
Then you're looking for a boar wearing what is essentially a red coat. And that kind of gives it away.
Maybe they spotted a boar and went red coat and went, wow, that's mental, that. Anyway, on with the search.
These feral pigs that wear anything, look at them.
God, look at that. Oh, it's not even a name brand. Sad.
We're horrible people.
Yeah, I know. This 6-year-old boy. 6-year-old boy. So, yeah, and as well, the search was, although it was organised by these people, it was just a shit show, because you had all these people coming into this area, and the reason why I say maybe they not noticed this red coat is because there were tracks of a child that were found, but they said, no, this must be one of the Boy Scouts that's on the search with us.
This is one of them feral pigs, that's what this is. Them footprints.
Yeah, God, can't you see it? God,
but they've got toes.
No brand sneakers. What's that about, man? So they claimed it to be one of the Boy Scouts that had joined the search, but the actual tracks were made by a child without a shoe. So, and they went off and disappeared into the stream, and everyone was like, no, that's a Boy Scout. And then a couple of days later, a child's shoe was found, and they went, oh, maybe it's not. So then what I'm saying about the red coat is maybe that when you... Okay, I don't know, I've never been part of a search or anything like that, but I would assume they search outwards from the area and do segments.
Mm-hmm.
So then they'll go, oh, well, that segment's clear, we've not seen anything. And maybe the Boy Scouts were looking in that segment and they're not as well trained as the Green Berets. And maybe they've just completely missed this red coat, but because they've said it's clear, it's clear.
As if like it's a high-profile investigation, a potential abduction. they've got in like the police, they've got in the Green Berets, they've got in the FBI, and they're like, Boy Scouts, you guys cover that section. And they're like, should we really be trusting? They're just kids. Like, they'll be fine. Like, but we've got the Green Berets and the FBI in on this. Like, shouldn't we be taking this a bit more seriously? Maybe it's mix and match with the FBI, and maybe it's have a little Boy Scout here and there. And like, let's not leave them into the entire section by themselves. And like, it'll be fine. Move on.
Exactly. I think it was like anyone that showed up, they just went, "Yep, can get on."
You do that section.
Yeah, you get your canes, your handheld fucking canes, and get on with it. Get down that trail.
Oh God.
So I think it was just a little bit bad management on the search front there. I mean, he was small. He was a 6-year-old, and there was a lot of thick brush in the area. So if he did fall down a ravine, and with the force of that, if he fell down and then, like, I don't want to say face planted into a big load of brush, and then he's covered up from overlooking it, the only way you're going to find him is by going into that brush.
Yeah.
So it's... And if there's an experienced searchers on the case, it's easy to do. And then you have animals there, so even if they were, like, let's say if he's dead, he's been dead for a couple of days, and you've got animals in the area. I mean, an underweight bear was freed from a trap a couple of weeks before his disappearance, so it was underweight, suggesting that it had come down to find food. And if it's dead, it's going to eat it, if it's that hungry, kind of thing.
Yeah, but bears don't eat everything. You know, like, I've seen pictures of bear attacks, and they don't eat the bones, you know, they leave stuff, you know, they just eat, you know.
It's true. It is true.
There'll be something left.
Yeah, of course, but then it depends what kind of area it drags it over, really.
True. Yeah, but if the Boy Scouts were involved, they would have found something.
Dib.
They got badges for it and stuff, haven't they?
Well, that badges mean shit now after this.
Oh, but I've got my body found in a wood badge. I got it ages ago. Nailed this one.
Tell you, Baden Powell and Bear Grylls need to up their fucking training regime.
Ray Mears doesn't know he's been born.
God, I tell you. So, I mean, that is one of the theories, that he just fell down the slope and he died in a bush, really. But Dennis's father is a big proponent of the theory that he was abducted. Now, this is kind of based on an account given by an eyewitness, quote marks there, eyewitness, called Harold Key. Now, this is kind of why the FBI got involved, because they did interview Harold Key about this, and they took a statement from him, and he reported that he heard a loud scream on the same afternoon of Dennis's disappearance, and shortly after he heard this scream, he claims to see a dishevelled man covered in hair and attempting to remain unseen, fleeing through the woods. Now, the Key's family, they do elaborate that this figure had a red object slung over his shoulder, and Martin was wearing a red coat on the day that he disappeared. But ultimately, this was dismissed by investigators because it was 5 miles away from where the disappearance was.
And he wasn't that far away from his family. Wouldn't they have heard a scream if it was him?
Exactly, yeah. At this point, surely that would have been like corroborating evidence that, there was a scream in the area.
Yeah.
So, I mean, 5 miles away, and plus the fact Harold Key doesn't actually give specific times for it, so it's like... And it was dismissed as investigators as maybe it was a moonshiner or someone up to something a little bit nefarious in in the national park and they didn't want to get seen and they were trying to keep out of sight. But what a park ranger did actually say after the investigation that maybe it was dismissed a little bit too quickly, because 5 miles away wasn't that difficult to get to because the terrain was mostly downhill. So it was theoretically possible.
Well, I mean, some people run 5 miles in like 20 minutes, don't they?
God,
I mean, not me and you, but some people.
Yeah.
Weirdos.
Superheroes, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, there was one person saying, yeah, the other person saying no, but the FBI just kind of dismissed this out of hand, saying, no, it's not anything to do with it. And to be honest with you, I think in 1980, what is it? I can't remember the name. I think it's ginseng. Is that the thing?
It's like a herb.
Yeah. So there was a ginseng picker, which is illegal in national parks, and he found a pile of bones, and he didn't come forward until like the 1980s about it, because he didn't really want to get into trouble. I didn't know it was that illegal, to be quite honest with you.
I mean, it's not like heroin or anything. It's just, you can buy it at Holland and Barrett, for fuck's sake.
But he felt so he didn't come forward for another 10, 15 years about it. But it was investigated, and the searchers couldn't find anything. They couldn't find any more bones. They couldn't find any...
Could he not have just said, hey, I found these bones, and when they were like, yeah, and what were you doing in the national park? Be like, walking, same as everybody else. He didn't have to say, I was doing something illegal. What of it? He could have just been like, I was having a walk. It's what people do here. Talk to other people who are here. He didn't have to just hide away because he was robbing ginseng. It's not even that good.
I know, yeah, but it must be big money if he's like hid behind that for that many years.
Pretty sure you can buy it for £2 a tub in Asda.
Yeah, probably. Well, because of this guy, probably. That's why. Jesus.
Thanks, man.
Should be more expensive than saffron, but we've got illegals hunting it down. Yeah, so I mean, there is kind of a second kind of, well, maybe a third, but it runs off the abduction kind of thing. And this is 411 by David Paulides. And he believes that there are unusual disappearances going on in national parks and in the wildland of America and Canada.
He's one of my people. He's fucking onto something, I'm telling you.
Yeah, he is one of your people.
He's onto something.
Yeah. So you and John, right? John Baylan can just can keep him, because so basically David Paulides believes that there's something nefarious going on in national parks, and what anyone can only get from that is he believes Bigfoot is out there stealing all these people.
That Anthony, is a complete lie. That is a lie. Okay, it could be so many things. Okay, firstly, Bigfoot isn't real. Only you believe in Bigfoot, so and secondly, is it so wrong to think? Is it so obscure to think that there's bloody drug businesses inside the national forests hidden away because it's the best place to deal drugs and stuff? And there's keep people stumble across drug farms and stuff and then get wiped out by drug gangs and stuff. It's not that impossible.
Absolutely, I 100% agree with that. But if you kind of look at David Paulides' background in it, he He's a former police officer investigator. He's got 20 plus years of experience on the force, and he's published 12 books. So, on the surface, he knows his stuff. But his first 2 books were published about Bigfoot and try to verify his existence.
Yeah, well,
so now we start going, okay.
I feel like I thought you would be on board with this because of the Bigfoot thing.
I would, but then I read his background and went, no. Why is Bigfoot taking people away? Why?
Maybe he's lonely.
Yeah, but then you read other forward ones and they go, oh, they just dropped him off by the side of the road. And it's like, well, why are you dropping him off? What's happening?
Because our search and rescue is fucking shit. That's why. Bigfoot's single-handedly saving all these people that go missing in the National Forest. He's like, oh, fucking another one. Honestly, they'd be dead before search and rescue get here. How a pet, jump on, I'll take you to the roadside. You know? Single-handedly saving lives, Bigfoot.
Yeah. I mean, I'd really like to believe this, but I don't believe. I don't think Bigfoot's that kind of dude. I just think he's just. I don't think he'd get involved.
You don't eat a cereal.
He'd be like British people. He'd just go, "Oh, hear a noise," and just walk away from it and go, "I don't know what's going on, but I don't really want to know."
Not my business. It's not my war.
Business. I have my own issues to deal with, and that it means going to Waitrose. So no.
Bigfoot shops in Waitrose. How much money is he on?
Yeah, it's his ginseng business. That's how
he's in cahoots with Holland and Barrett. He's making a fucking mint.
He's got a go-between. But yeah, I'd like to believe it, but I mean.
So
David Paulides has all these credentials, and there is a Vice article, and it quotes him as being a cryptozoologist with a self-described law enforcement and investigative background. Brackets, I was unable to independently verify this. So, apparently, even the law enforcement that he's working for have no fucking record of him, because surely if you say, I was a police officer, and he said, I think he worked in San Jose, and this journalist went to San Jose Police Department and went, this guy worked for you. And they've gone, I ain't got any information on that. Unless Vice are just really rubbish and they just did a Google search and came up with nothing. I mean, which I could kind of believe it, but I don't. And 12 of the 12 books that he has published have all been self-published. So
even my Sims don't self-publish.
I know. You see, when you start self-publishing, but like, good luck to you all out there writing, believe in your dream, self-publish away. But
no one's going to believe your theory on the 411.
Exactly. Yeah, you need to
sell to a publisher. Even the Sims would sell to publisher.
Yeah, independent sources is what you need, not just one.
Well, I mean, I quite enjoy my one source, but okay.
Yeah, exactly. Tinfoil hat.
All right, okay. So, what do you make of the Hills Have Eyes theory then? Like the feral people living in the national forests.
Without a shadow of a doubt, I can get on board with that because obviously we've all seen. Go back to it, Deliverance. We've all seen them kind of films that have
Wrong Turn, that kind of shit.
Exactly, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. They're all kind of the Resident Evil 7. They all live in the hills, away from society. They've gone off the grid, kind of thing. They just live in there. No, I can 100% believe that. But what use have they got for Dennis Martin in particular? I mean, I know a lot of... I've just answered my own question, but...
I mean, well, no, I was kind of thinking, but I actually don't know what you were thinking, but I was kind of thinking, it sounds kind of crass, but, I guess to, the Hills Have Eyes people, he might be like venison.
It could be.
Maybe they're eating people, but, I don't know.
The younger, tender veal
kind
of thing.
like lamb and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not one of the Hills Have Eyes people. But then at the same time, I can get on board with the Hills Have Eyes things. But at the same time, it's they must be really like, they can't be that smart because, you know, years and years of interbreeding and stuff like that. So surely they're not smart enough to hide like full houses and stuff away from people that are hundreds and hundreds of people that are searching for these people that have gone missing. Helicopters and, you know, infrared cameras and LiDAR and all this kind of stuff. Surely they're not that smart to hide their entire life away from any kind of discovery.
Yeah, this is a thing as well. And I think that if there are people living in the national park. Now, national park, they're massive. Obviously, the scale of America is just big in itself. And then I think if you look at Nevada, only like 0.9% of it is habitable because the rest is just desert. It's so vast and it's just massive. You know, and the parks within these areas, within these states, obviously they take up a large chunk of this vast wilderness, let's say. But like you say, I'm sure that there's park rangers who do these jobs for years and years and years.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure they can't be hidden from the park rangers. Like it's all nice and well saying, yeah, keep off the beaten track and whatnot, but if they are hunting people, surely they've got to go to the track to find these people, so surely they would have been seen. And no serial killer bats 100%. Someone always gets away and has a story to tell about it. So I think, yeah, there are people living off the grid and they are off radar, and I'm pretty sure that they'll be doing weird fucking things, but I think they're kind of known about, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, just don't go over there.
With the technology they've got nowadays, it would be pretty hard to not find somebody that was like, that just built a little log cabin in the middle of the national park, you know? I mean, maybe they could be living in the caves. I don't know. Is there caves? Are there caves?
Mm.
Well, maybe they could be living in the caves, but then, yeah, surely somebody would have seen them. The national parks aren't exactly... I mean, they're fucking national parks. People go there. People visit. People hike.
But that's the thing as well. If you bringing a family up, or even, I'm not going to say community, but a family up, then there's things that you need.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, you may be a man of the land, but there's still little things that you need, and you need to interact with society to get that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, unless you've just gone that far off the grid that it's like, oh, well, doing Ivan Drago, like, oh, if he dies, he dies. Like, if you break your ankle or something, you know, like, oh, well, may as well just do you like Shergar and shoot you in the face kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Unless they've got that far off the deep end where they actually don't care about whether their significant others around them live or die, then they do need to interact with society.
I mean, you get them like the tribes, you know, in the third world countries on these tiny little islands that have never had human interaction for, you know, like centuries. But we know they're there, but they won't let us anywhere near them. They're very hostile, you know, they'll come out with, you know, weapons and stuff at the fishermen that are trying to come over and stuff, and they're like, a hell no, a world of no, back the fuck up. But we know they're there. It would be hard to not know somebody was, you know, these groups of communities were living in the national forest. Yeah,
that's it. I think it's unless they can't. Maybe you can, but it'll be a certain amount of time. You can only have a certain amount of time that you're invisible, and then you have to be known.
Yeah.
Unless you keep moving along the trail from place to place kind of thing, and then, like, I don't know, doing a littlest hobo kind of thing, moving up your family every couple of weeks or something, just to interact with a new place of society, so they think you're around there, and then you're moving down, kind of thing, and
But
you're just keeping everyone guessing. But
that'd be really hard though, because you've still got to protect yourself from predators and stuff. There's still bears and mountain lions and things like that, so you wouldn't even know if you were moving to like a safe place to house your family.
yeah, exactly. And as much as they may think they know the area and they're like that, these are just like white hicks. They're not fucking Navajo, you know what I mean? They haven't got a bond with the land. They're just fucking three-tooth rubes that have gone, oh, you know what, I don't like the internet, I'm going to gonna live in a cave.
Shall we move? I don't like the internet either.
Exactly,
makes me depressed.
You know?
I don't know. This is kind of why I feel like the drug thing is maybe a little bit more plausible, because there's a lot of money in drugs. So there's a lot of money that could be spent in covering up.
Yeah, without a shadow of doubt. I mean, like, if you look at Colombia, like, or Escobar, when he had everything in deep in the jungle, he built like landing strips. He had an airport next to all where he was processing his cocoa stuff, and he was hidden for years and years and years, these places, because the only way in or out was by plane, and the army couldn't get to him. So yeah, there is a lot of money there to kind of protect yourself, but I just don't get why it's 6-year-old. I don't get in this particular case.
Right, because kids are blabbermouths, aren't they? Like if a 6-year-old came across, you know, what looked like a giant garden full of plants that smelled a bit funny, and there was a load of people walking around with guns, there's no way you can't rely on that kid to not go back and tell their parents.
But then for that, you've got to imagine that this big marijuana farm was literally a mile away from a major campsite, which is in turn is only a few miles away from the busiest hiking route in America.
Yeah, but maybe it was inaccessible to an adult, but kids are small. Maybe he found a little wiggle room and, you know, found like some kind of really tiny opening that wouldn't be accessible to an adult.
I'll go with Sasquatch over this.
Oh, wow.
Nonsense. Like, wow.
Nonsense. Drug cartels in the wilderness is nonsense, but Bigfoot is realistic.
Drug cartel a few miles away from one of the busiest. They may as well have just set up next to a fucking motorway and gone, it's all right, lads, no one will notice.
I mean, they're pretty brazen in Mexico.
Yeah, there's no law in Mexico. Jesus.
There's no law in the national parks either.
Park rangers? What? It was Yogi Bear always fighting.
I was going to say park rangers have the same kind of fucking authority as a parking attendant does. They might think they have authority, but they don't.
Wow.
Does the back of your jacket say police? No, it does not. It says parking attendant. Give me the ticket and I'll put it in my glove compartment and ignore it forever.
I'm just going to say that I respect all our brothers and sisters in law enforcement, and thank you for your service.
I mean, hey, if it makes you feel any better, I've never had a parking ticket or a speeding ticket in my life, okay? Because I abide by the laws of the road.
Well, there you go, you see. You're a massive nerd. So,
wow, okay. Says the guy that doesn't even drive. Where are you going to get a speeding ticket? A speeding ticket or a parking fine?
I can't legally drive.
Oh, God.
I have driven cars before. Look, I'm incriminating myself. I'm taking a fifth.
It doesn't work over here, Ant.
Whoa, I've never done anything.
You can't plead
nefarious.
the fifth in the UK.
I'll take whatever we have.
We don't have the fifth.
Exactly.
or anything like it. I'm driving us to Dartmoor, aren't I? Let's face it.
Yeah. I mean, I'll meet you on my bicycle.
Cannock Chase. Meet me on your bicycle. Mate, I'll be there 3 weeks before you. I'm not camping out. I get eaten by a werewolf.
Oft hills have eyes, people.
Apparently. Exactly. I'm not mental, man.
Yeah, so I don't know what I'm going to go with. He got excited, overexcited, and he fell, had an accident down a ravine, or something like that happened.
Do you think it's a case of is it Occam's razor? The simplest answer is usually the right one.
Yeah, if you hear hooves and see hoof prints, you don't think zebra.
Yeah. What?
You think horse.
All right, okay. I mean, depends
Yeah,
where you are, I guess. You know, Nova might think zebra.
Obviously, but yeah, Jesus.
That's a stupid analogy.
Well, he clearly wasn't from Africa, was he? So probably why he used that analogy. What's he going to say?
No, but you know what I mean. Like, generally, it's the most simplest, most boring explanation, which is, you know, these people that vanished just tripped and fell and were, you know, set upon by predators.
Yeah,
they removed all the evidence.
It is, and just to go on that, Pilatus does claim that people go missing in national parks at an unprecedented rate. Now, Kyle Polich, a data scientist and a host of the Data Skeptic podcast. I've not listened to it because I'm not a nerd.
Wow.
Don't listen to podcasts. But like and subscribe. Joking. I'm joking. I haven't actually listened to it, but he basically said that people aren't going missing in unprecedented numbers. They're going just as normal as people would. It's just a case of people are maybe falling off cliffs. There's more danger out there because there's bears. And maybe they're just overreaching and thinking they can hike the Appalachian Trail and having a heart attack and just falling into a bush.
Also could be a thing.
Indeed. So it's something that it's not excessive if you look at the data, which some people claim it is. And that's kind of what... And that's why I don't believe in...
You know what it is? You make mysteries boring. You ruin all the mysteries for me. You try and disprove everything.
Sorry, I look at logic rather than fantasy.
Well, it's bullshit.
I know, but... it's just... I'm sorry to ruin that for you. But, yeah.
Well, I'm keeping my tinfoil hat on and I'm staying with my people.
You can do. You can all... go to a special place and stay there.
You can eat us, so you know, just bite us, just bugger off. Okay, we are quite happy with our mysteries. Makes life more fun.
Indeed.
Somebody said to you the Loch Ness monster turned out to just be a tree trunk at a funny angle. You'd be devastated.
But
don't.
Okay.
It's not a tree trunk at a funny angle.
It's not.
It's potentially an erect whale penis. I read that yesterday.
What? No.
I read. You should Google it. It does look kind of like. It does kind of look like the photo. To be fair.
No, I'm not googling that. My search history is bad enough, right?
Without googling erect whale penis.
What's wrong with him?
Well, there you go. For anyone that's listening, Google erect whale penis and tell me it doesn't look a little bit like the Loch Ness monster.
Why is it swimming on its back? Is it just showing off?
It's just getting it's just airing off its dick. Don't kink shame.
Oh God.
You do it all the time.
People wonder why the sea tastes of salt.
Exactly. Yeah. Those whales be players.
Yeah, God, it's everywhere. All over.
You're the one that goes in the sea.
Yeah. I'm not even Anyway, on that bombshell, that's enough. That's enough. On that bombshell.
Okay.
This has been the MO podcast. Thank you so much for joining us. As always, I've been Conservation,
and I have been and will be Atreya.
Yeah, cheers. Thank you, and we shall see you next time.
Bye.
The MO podcast. The MO podcast.